Testing 5, testing 5, testing 5, testing. Hello everyone, I'm the Masked Analyst. Well, as you can no doubt tell by looking around you that there have been a few changes in my life. I moved a couple of weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I also got a new job. So I'm kind of busy. I'm very busy. And the timing of this couldn't have been worse. As some of you are no doubt aware, my channel had been suspended for a while. Here's what happened. On July 23rd, that was a Thursday, July 23rd, I got a message from YouTube stating that a video of mine had been deleted because of a copyright complaint. Now, I was unaware of this because on July 23rd, I happened to have had most of my stuff packed up for the move. And in fact, I moved the very next day, July 24th. I didn't get internet connection again for about a week or so. And so during this time, I was blissfully unaware that my YouTube account had been suspended. Now, when I got back and I got connected to the internet, I had a rather rude surprise. Your internet account has been suspended. And that was kind of obnoxious. But because I still had to get settled in and I'm doing some new stuff for work, things have been really hectic for me. I didn't have time to deal with the YouTube thing. But I was really touched by the outpouring of support that came my way. And I want to thank all my subscribers. Now, I'm going to name a few of you, and I have some trepidation about this, because whenever I name a list of people to specially single out to thank, I'm almost guaranteed to forget somebody, to leave someone off the list. So if I leave your name off of this list of people, please forgive me. But here goes. First person I want to thank is the DMCA. My video was pulled. The video was pulled down on July 23rd, and he made a video on the 25th announcing my suspension. As far as I can tell, he's the first person to announce my suspension, and he made several videos decrying it and asking YouTube to bring me back and trying to drum up support. So I want to give special thanks to the DMCA. Wagner 2100 was also early out of the gates announcing my suspension, and I want to thank you. Now, Victor / gimmeabreakman, he's a pretty popular YouTuber, and he announced my suspension, and I'm sure that got a lot of interest. So thank you, Victor. I really appreciate that. HappyCabbie, he's given me all sorts of support, especially behind the scenes, which unfortunately I can't tell you about, but he's a great guy, and I really appreciate what he's done for me, so thank you. dprjones has a lot of knowledge in these areas, and he's consulted with me, or I've consulted with him, whatever, but I appreciate his support. And Thunderfoot, who had to deal with his own suspension. His own channel was suspended for a few hours, but he posted a notice on his Beauty in the Universe channel announcing my suspension, and he's one of the more popular channels. So I really thank you, Thunderfoot. Thank you, and I'm very glad to see that your account was restored after only a few hours. That might have been record time. Now, as far as my account goes, what was the video about that got my account suspended? Well, it was actually an old video. It was over 2 years old. It was about mainly Red Skull. It also mentioned Phantom 409 tangentially, but it was mainly about Red Skull. So, Masked Analyst, are you going to jump to the conclusion that Red Skull suspended your account? Was it Red Skull this time? After all, he was responsible for suspending your account back in 2007. No. I really don't think Red Skull was behind us. Now, I can't rule anyone out with 100% certainty, but Red Skull has kind of disappeared from the scene, and I'd be very much surprised to find out if he had anything to do with this. I'm almost 100% sure. Not 100%, but very close to being 100% sure that he isn't responsible for this. I've also seen postings speculating that it was that this was the work of some Christian fundamentalists out to get atheists. And I doubt that that's the case as well, because let's face it, although I am an atheist, not ashamed about it, it's not something that I really blog about or vlog about a lot. I don't talk about it a great deal. I can't imagine that I would be very high on a Christian fundamentalist hit list, so I don't think it was that. What I do know is that the DMCA carried the name of Jason Sherrelll. That was the name of the person who sent in the DMCA, according to the DMCA. Funny thing about Jason Sherrelll and his DMCA is that the way he signed his last name, it was spelled out with 3 L's at the end. 3 L's, not 1 L, not 2 L, but 3 L's. And that told me that this was a bogus DMCA. Nobody, as far as I know, ends their last name with 3 L's. The Sherrell, or Sherrell with 3 L's, was a phony last name, and that to me was a tip-off. And so I finally got around to writing YouTube on August 3rd. I know it was a few weeks before I got to writing YouTube, but with the move and the new job, I've just been too busy. YouTube has taken a lower priority, and I'm probably going to have to spend less time on YouTube than I have in the past, at least for a while. But I wrote to YouTube on August 3rd, and by August 4th, the next day, my account was reinstated. So, and I know that this is going to blow some people's minds. I just know it. People are going to say, the second coming has occurred. Armageddon can't be that far away. I mean, this is huge. The Masked Analyst, I am actually going to be thanking YouTube's copyright department for getting their head out of their ass and doing something right. The way they have conducted themselves in this instance is night and day better than the way they conducted themselves in 2007. When I was suspended in 2007, I wrote to the YouTube copyright department, and I provided proof. Had they taken 3 minutes, I provided proof beyond any doubt whatsoever that the DMCA against me was bogus. All I asked them to do was to look at the video that got my account suspended. Watch the video, and in the video you could see the creator of that video, Firefly515. He made a plea for everybody else to repost that video to their channels. So had the YouTube department done what they should have done, which is actually watch the damn video, or at the very least, upon my request that they watch the damn video, they should have watched the video, and in 3 minutes notice, in 3 minutes time, they would have known it was bogus. But no, they didn't. Even when I asked them to. No, they couldn't be bothered with that. They couldn't be bothered wasting their 3 minutes. And I tried to correspond with YouTube's copyright department. I'll post a link to my correspondence in the sidebar. And they treated me with contempt. It was like talking to a brick wall. It was like talking to a robot. Well, my experience was very different this time. Now, it may very well be that my experience was different because this time I had a lot of people writing into YouTube asking to get my account reinstated. I had some heavy hitters who were pulling for me. So that could possibly be why they took a second look at the DMCA. Or maybe, just maybe, they've gotten their act together a bit and they will now follow up on totally bogus DMCAs and unsuspended accounts. I know that at least with Thunderfoot that's the case. But Thunderfoot is a big YouTuber, and they may have given him a little more attention than they would have given someone with, say, 10 subscribers and no real big voice on YouTube. I don't know if they treat everyone the same. I don't know if everyone, if they've really, really improved their act, or whether I just got a little bit of extra special treatment because of everybody's writing to YouTube. I just don't know. That's the problem. Their copyright department is not transparent. I don't know what goes into their review process, so I really can't say for sure how thoroughly they should be thanked and congratulated, but I will say this. I do notice an improvement. There may be a lot of improvement left to go, but there is some improvement, and so I do indeed thank you for this. Now, for those of you who work at YouTube's copyright department, before your heads get too big from my praise, before you get too excited that I praise you, that is if you're even watching my video, which I don't know, but though you have improved, there is still a good way to go. Section 512 I1A of the DMCA states, and I'm going to leave a few words out of this, but you'll get the gist of it. It says that the DMCA that the protection from the DMCA will only hold if you've adopted and reasonably implemented a policy that provides for termination in appropriate circumstances of subscribers and accounts who are repeat infringers. Now, the DMCA doesn't describe who is a repeat infringer, how many times does someone need to infringe to be classified as a repeat infringer, and it doesn't spell out what appropriate circumstances are. But certainly Congress did not have your policy in mind when they passed the DMCA. Congress did not have in mind a policy of suspending people who were making obvious fair use of other people's videos. And Congress especially didn't have this in mind at the time because they had no idea that they would establish a hub, if you will, a center on YouTube, because YouTube was the world's largest town hall for political speech. Now, I'm using YouTube's own words from their own blog when I say YouTube's the largest town hall for political speech. And Congress would be using YouTube as a forum to solicit opinions from their constituents. Because of the very nature of YouTube's importance as a free speech zone, YouTube should be especially reluctant and very hesitant to suspend people. And they shouldn't suspend people just because somebody alleges that the video is infringing, and they shouldn't suspend people who are making obvious fair use of another person's video. Yes, remove the video. I recognize that you have to remove the video, but suspending accounts when the situation looks obviously like it's fair use. I bring a case in point. Edible Napalms. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name right. He was suspended for making what looks like obvious fair use of a video by Daniel Owens, who's been sending out DMCAs right and left. This YouTube is wrong. This YouTube does not live up to the spirit of free speech and debate. This YouTube is falling short of your ideal of becoming the world's largest town hall for political speech. So yes, you do deserve my praise because you have made big strides from where you were. But you do have a long way to go before you can really, truly realize your potential. Well, this has been the Masked Analyst, under and in.